People started buying. You heard that right. In today's hashtag mini live, we are talking about why I stopped caring, why you should stop caring if you care right now, and why that will actually lead to more sales. So, I want to start off by clarifying what I mean by stopped caring. I mean, I stopped caring about the things that don't matter, such as how many likes a post get, how many comments are on a post or on a live, how many people are watching live or watching replay. I stopped caring about the opinions of others somewhat. I definitely still have some care for sure, but it's something I'm working on. But these are the things that I stopped caring about. I also stopped caring about if somebody came into my program or invested in me or not. And you might think, why would you stop caring about that? I stopped caring about the wrong people coming into my offer because I didn't want them in my offer anyways, because they aren't meant for my offer. So I'm going to go further into this, but this whole idea of not caring is detachment. I started detaching from the reaction of others. That's the overarching theme, detaching from the reaction of others. Because if I have attachment to these things, I, my business results, my emotion is at the mercy of other people's reactions. And that is not a place you want to be in. And that's a place I used to be in, right? I used to allow these factors of engagement, of comments, of a lead that seemed interested in investing or not. I allowed this to affect the way I showed up or not show up. I allowed it to affect the way I felt about myself, about my value, about my services, and I allowed these things to dictate how I move. When you are detached, you show up the same way, whether you just had a DM conversation with somebody who became a client versus them saying they're not interested. I show up the same way. And the reason why is because I'm being neutral about it and I'm not attaching my value to the reaction, to the outcome. So of course I'm happy if a client comes in and it's a right fit for them. I'm excited for them. But I don't allow it to change the value that I feel about myself or the way I feel. Same thing if they aren't the right fit and don't become a client, I don't allow it to change the way I feel or the way I show up. And this takes conscious practice. This takes exposure therapy, exposing yourself to these things and consciously showing up, not wavering depending on other people. So if you right now are posting and if it doesn't get likes and you delete it, or you post a comment and then you think, is that going to come across the wrong way? Or you send a DM and then you delete the DM. And then you reword it and said, actually, I should send a voice memo. You send a voice memo and you're overthinking it, you're deleting it. Right? You're attached to the outcome and you have this worry because you're thinking, I have to say the right thing. And then there's this pressure around everything you're doing. And then pressure, I always say pressure brings you down like this, like into a ball, and there's no space to move. If there's no space to move, that means there's no space to receive because there's nothing that can come in. If there's so much pressure in here, right, you're so compact, there is no space. So nothing is leaving and nothing is coming, right? Any clients that go of, you haven't let go of because you're feeling under pressure. Any clients that you want coming in don't have any space to come in. So, prime example of how I detach is today. I removed over 1,000 email subscribers from my list. Previously, I didn't want to let go of anybody. I was like, what if they're the right person? Now I'm deleting them from my list. I have total detachment to those kind of things. And I saw these people aren't engaged email subscribers. They aren't for me in this moment. So they're taking up unnecessary space. And so I removed them from my list. And what removing them from my list has done for me, both mentally and physically, is opened up space for more of the right people to come in. So, right now, if you are working with unaligned clients or clients that are making you very anxious or resentful, and you know that this isn't a right match, it's a hard thing to do, but sometimes you got to let clients go. If it's not serving you and it's not serving them, it's not a good match. This is also why qualifying leads and leads before they become clients is so important, because we want to make sure ideally we don't have to let clients go because we're only bringing in the aligned clients. But sometimes unaligned clients slip through the cracks. So if they're taking up your energy and space, that could be restricting you from allowing what is meant to come in because you have this pressure on you. So I stopped caring about these things. And how did I stop caring about these sales or the outcome of sales? It completely viewed direct messaging and sales conversations in a completely different way than I do now. I used to think that this was normal and it was my job to make people my client. Newsflash for you. It is not your job to make someone your client, because your ideal client either comes to you as an ideal client or not. They're either are an ideal client or they're not when they come to you. And that should give you peace, knowing that you don't have to change this person or change this lead or the way they think or how things are going to turn them into an ideal client, because they either are or they're not. Somebody could come to you and not be an ideal client right now, but maybe 6 months from now, they are an ideal client. And some people will come to you and they will never be an ideal client. It's just not a match. So when you realize, oh, it's not my job to turn this person into an ideal client, they either come to me or not, then you realize, oh, there's no pressure on this conversation because it's just a conversation. And if I can provide value, which I can provide value to my ideal client, then they're going to move forward. And all of a sudden, things start to feel like they come with ease. But it's not because it's easier than before, but it's because you're just speaking to the right people. And you're not trying or putting energy into changing the leads that you're talking to currently. When you're talking to people that are ideal clients, it's easy. Like, it's easy to have conversation because you're not worried about saying something wrong because they're a perfect match for you. Like, to me, it's just mind blowing to think about how I used to view conversations, how I used to overthink literally everything I'm saying. Am I saying this right? Should I say this? Should I say that? Versus speaking to the right people. My alarm's going off. Speaking to the right people, it's just like having a conversation because that's all it is. This is also intertwined with permission based sales and selling. When you are asking permission, there is no pressure because it doesn't feel like there's anything to hide. Like, if you're trying to hide something while you're selling, of course you're going to have resistance because you're going to be worried about what to say and what not to say. But if there's nothing to hide, if you're asking permission as you sell, again, it becomes easy. So I stopped caring. People started buying. What does this have to do, like, psychologically as a buyer, right? Think about what we want in life, or maybe previous investments you've made, right? If we feel like somebody really needs it, it doesn't make it very appealing, does it? right? If somebody is coming to you, right? Let's say you walk into a store, right? You're going to go buy some clothes and you're looking around and the people come up to you and they're like, "Do you want to buy this? It's 50% off today. Oh, this would look so great on you. Yeah, just try it on. Try it on." I would be like, "No, thank you. Bye-bye." Like they're so desperate and that comes across. Versus walking in a store, they're there to support you. They're there to answer your questions when you have it, but you're free to look around. Have a pick at what you want. No pressure to buy, right? Totally different way of experiencing things. So your leads are going to have the same experience, whether they connect with you through DMs, through a sales call, whatever it may be. If you come across as needy, people don't want it. But if you're like, take it or leave it, people are like, oh, that's different. Like, I like that, right? When I think about the investments I've made in coaches and mentors over the years, I'm thinking about my experience with them in through the DMs. I'm thinking about a few of them. So I'm thinking about four of them. Two of them were sales calls and two of them were DM conversations. And with every single one of them, looking back and reflecting, I knew hopping on that call that they did not need me. I knew that they were doing just fine in business. And whether I invested in them or not, it didn't really matter. It wasn't going to affect them. So they were able to show up with total detachment. And therefore, I was like, let's do this. Like, I want to be a part of this. Versus, I remember getting on a call, and this person was talking about you only pay $1 and then you make the 5K investment after you've made progress. And it was like this interesting kind of offer, but it was like, you have nothing to lose. Come on. Like it more felt like it was for them than for me, right? But as an investor, we want to feel like we're benefiting from the investment, not we're investing for just the sake of the person on the other side, right? It should be a win-win. So think about attachment versus detachment. How is that showing up in your business or life? Are you creating pressure in your business which isn't allowing space for people to come in? Are there things like clearing your email list or letting go of headache clients that aren't aligned? Sometimes it's those scary big moves that open up the space for new and better and more aligned opportunity. Actually, always. Always opens up space. For example, detachment also looks like being authentic in the way you connect and your response to people. So, I just sent an email out to somebody that was interested in investing in my services, right? My done for you organic marketing services. I briefly, had a conversation with them and through looking at their situation and such, I was like, "Do you know what? I'm not the best person for this. For your business, it's it's um it's offline business and my focus is really online service providers." And so I'm like, "Yes, there are elements I definitely could help you with, but I'm like, I know there's somebody out there that's better for your business and your situation." So I'm like, "Here's what I could do for you, but I think you're better off going with this person." They were more looking for somebody in public relations rather than organic marketing. So their needs didn't match with my services. But guess what? They were in a space where they were trusting me to make that judgment because I could have said to them, "Oh, yeah, let's go ahead, let's do it." Right? They invest in me, and sure, I could have helped them, but I knew that I was not the kind of service that they were requesting. And so I directed them in that other direction to the best of my ability. And so I quote, declined the sale, but I know me declining that sale is again just leaving space for the right people to come in. Also, I want them to win, right? Client satisfaction is very, very important to me. And I don't think I was what they needed. And so, why would I take on a client that I don't think is going to have major wins with me? So, notice how I said I really care about client satisfaction. So, the title of this live, I stopped caring. I stopped caring about the reaction of others. What I do really care about is the health of the environment of my team and my clients, and the satisfaction of the team, my clients, and myself. Very, very important to me. And this is why I only work with ideal clients. I know what it is like to work with non ideal clients, and it does not serve either of you. I would love to hear, what is your takeaway? I can't see the names, I just see Facebook user here on Restream. But thank you for tuning in. Let me know who you are. If you're tuning in, same, you can care without it affecting you. Oh, I love that. Hi, Emily. You're so right about caring. Release expectation about calls makes a huge level of a difference. Yeah, not putting pressure on yourself is huge. Yeah, so the greatest takeaways I want you to take away from today is detachment from the reaction of others because it's something that is not in your control. And if it determines the way you show up, then you're going to be showing up like this and your business is going to be like this and it's always going to feel very unstable because it's dependent on others and it's something out of your control. Second thing is you cannot allow new opportunity to come in if you're constantly under pressure because there simply is no space for things that need to leave and for things that want to come in to come in. So that's why I said, like, if you right now are working with unaligned clients, right, you are under this pressure, which is keeping them in there with you and also not allowing aligned clients to come in. When you relieve yourself of that pressure, let go of those people, even if it's scary, you're opening up yourself to not operate from a place of pressure. So you're opening up space for things to come in and receive. Expectation of outcome is also something that I have worked on changing. I like to set intentions, but I don't like to hold myself to an expectation of if I do this, this is going to happen, right? Like if you're like, I'm going to post this and this is going to be a viral post. Like you're having an expectation for that, which puts pressure on yourself versus an intention. I'm going to put this post out here and I'm going to share what I need to share today, right? And my intention is whatever that my intention for that post is. And I trust that who's meant to see it is going to see it. Releasing yourself of this pressure and expectation. Let me know what your greatest takeaway from today's mini live was. I sometimes like to do these mini lives and I'm just going to throw mine. You can clearly tell this isn't too structured, but I know as I post this, whoever needs to hear it will hear it. Whoever needs to watch it will watch it. I have no expectation or pressure on myself of what to say If it comes out right or if it doesn't, if I fumble over my words or I don't, I know it's all going to work out, and it doesn't really matter that much. So let me know your greatest takeaways, whether you're watching live or replay, in the comment section. I would love to hear. And also any other topics, or what is sticking out to you right now in your business. Often what's happening with the people I'm having conversations with or my clients is there's a theme. And so I like to do lives on the theme that I'm feeling around, that I'm seeing people doing. So I would love to hear what's going on in your world. When I let go of unaligned clients, I felt so much better and it allowed for others to come in that actually needed my services. Being authentic makes it so much easier to know if we can work together or not. Absolutely. Because if you put on like a facade, or you're somebody that you're not, and then you start working together, it's going to show through, right? So you want to make sure from the way you're showing up online is also in alignment with the service you provide and the kind of person that you want to attract. So, for example, if you are more introverted like myself, and you're a little bit more, I guess you could say, calm or conservative in the way you speak, things like that, versus somebody who's really loud and out there, right? If you show up online and you're doing these lives, you're like loud and out there, and then you start working with people, right? And you're like not that same way, you're not a match, that's going to be misaligned. So the way you're showing up online should be in alignment with the way you serve and the way you communicate with your clients. You don't want to like change your identity based on that, and just being genuine in the way you respond. If you feel that somebody isn't the right fit for you, but you know somebody that is, just give them that redirection, right? And that person is going to appreciate it. So, yeah, being authentic, I mean, it flows into every area of our business, but those are a couple examples. Let me know any other questions, comments. I'd love to see. Okay. I know there's a bit of a delay. And I was like, what else did I have written down here? I haven't even looked down. But if you have any questions, you can also DM me. I am open to that. And I hope you have an amazing Monday. Rest of your day, rest of your week. It's going to be a great week. I know a lot of people I'm talking to, they're really focused on streamlining and systems and clearing things out this week. So I would love to hear what you're up to this week, and I'll talk to you